58 minutes past midnight on March 23, 1994, an Aeroflot Airbus A310 suddenly vanished out of thin air. But what could have possibly caused such an event? While antiquated now, the A310 was a modern jet in 1994. However, it wasn't an issue with the plane, but a far more embedded issue with the aviation industry as a whole that downed this jet. This is the story of Aeroflot Flight 593. Flight 593 was a scheduled service from Moscow's Sheremetyevo Airport to Hong Kong's Kai Tak Airport. The flight was scheduled to be 13 hours and 40 minutes and would be guided by 3 pilots. The captain was Andrei Viktorovich Danilov, aged 40, who was hired by Aeroflot in November 1992. He had over 9,500 hours of flight time, including 950 of which in the A310. Joining him was First Officer Igor Vladimirovich Piskaryov, aged 33, who had been hired by Aeroflot in October the previous year. He had around 5,800 hours of flight time, including 440 in the A310. Joining them was a relief captain, Yaroslav Vladimirovich Kudrinsky, aged 39, who had been hired by Aeroflot in the same month as the captain. The aircraft was carrying 63 passengers and 12 crew this evening, 40 of which were Russian nationals, including about 30 Aeroflot employees and family members. The remaining 23 foreigners were mostly businessmen from Hong Kong and Taiwan who were looking for economic opportunities in Russia. Also of note are the captain's 2 kids, Eldar and Yana, who were on board. They would be playing a critical role in the unfortunate chain of events on today's flight. The pilots did the walk around as usual. The aircraft was in perfect working order given that it was only 3 years old. The aircraft departed Moscow at 39 past 4 in the afternoon, and the first 4 or so hours of the flight went without a hitch. Sometime after midnight that night, when approaching the Novokuznetsk reporting point, the captain's daughter Yana entered the flight deck. She was allowed to sit in the left seat while the captain demonstrated some autopilot features, such as the heading select and nav modes to change the aircraft's heading. The captain's son, Eldar, then took the left seat when Yana was done. The captain's son asked if he could turn the control wheel. He then moved the yoke slightly, applying a force of around 18 pounds or 9 kilograms, and held it there for a few moments before returning the wheel to its original position. The captain demonstrated to him the same autopilot modes of which he did to his daughter, to bring the aircraft back on course. However, it soon came in conflict from the yoke, which was blocked in a neutral position. Presumably from the captain's son, there was a 25-pound or 12-kilogram force on the yoke until the torque limiter was activated by disconnecting the autopilot servo from the aileron control linkage. This essentially forced the autopilot to disconnect, causing a loss of situational awareness for the captain, who did not know what the plane was doing. The captain likely believed that the autopilot had disconnected, given the giant warning. However, he did not know that the aircraft was turning right, and proceeded to turn the aircraft to the right, thinking that it would self-correct. Tragically, all the captain needed to do was let his hands off the controls, and the aircraft would recover itself. The A310 was a smart enough machine that it would revert to the settings inputted earlier. The aircraft soon banked 90 degrees and then pitched up steeply with nearly 5 g of acceleration. The captain demanded his son to leave the cockpit as the relief captain desperately made his way into the flight deck. However, it was too late, and the aircraft soon stalled. An aerodynamic stall is caused when the wings are at such an angle that they are no longer effective at creating lift. This causes the aircraft to essentially fall out of the sky, of which it soon did, entering a spin which was nearly unrecoverable. 2 minutes and 6 seconds later, the aircraft slammed into a forest near Mezhedorochensk, Russia. All 75 passengers and crew were killed. The aircraft had disintegrated upon impact. It was one of the first whole losses of an Airbus A310. However, one would be mistaken to end the story of Flight 593 there, as we need to discuss the regulations regarding cockpit entry and how preventable this accident was. This flight should have served as a warning sign for the entire world that lax cockpit security regulations could affect aircraft safety. And had this been adhered to, we may not even discuss September 11th. Instead, the world chose to watch on as the risks of cockpit entry were widely known, and unfortunately, we didn't learn quick enough. Had the lessons of Flight 593 been adhered, incidents such as Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961, United Airlines Flight 175, American Airlines Flight 11, American Airlines Flight 77, and United Airlines Flight 93 would have been prevented. And unfortunately, the lessons of Flight 593 were only learned 7 years later. And if you made it to the end of the video, this tells YouTube to show the video to more people. And while you're down there, subscribe if you want to. You can always unsubscribe later.